And yes, now let's discuss China. The war now seems to be between the U.S. and China after the U.S. raised tariffs on Chinese imports to 145%. Of course, China hasn't shown any sign of backing down. And there's this strategy that China is hedging by weakening its currency. But let's get some closer information from that with Global Marketing Executive Amanda Wolverton joins us. Hi, Amanda. Welcome to the program. Good morning from Nigeria.
Good morning, Nigeria.
Great. So, I mean, it does seem like, a lot of people have said it seems President Trump was gunning for China from onset, and so every other country were just victims. What do you say to this? Does it look like this was supposed to actually be a U.S.-China battle?
It definitely appears to be, and as you can see, it has been a roller coaster for China for the last few days. If we take a second just to step back to look at China's economy as a whole, there is a metaphor saying that China's economy is being pulled by three horses. The first one is investment. And the second one is domestic consumption. And the third one, and probably the most profitable one, is exports. And as a matter of fact, exports contribute to 20% of China's overall GDP. So, and then it's also the cash cow for Chinese economy, fueling the other two horses. For example, in 2024, the trade surpluses of China's exports with United States is 295 billion. So when we look at that, when the tariff hits, so it's really having a huge impact of Chinese economy, especially when the first time when it hit was 10% and then 10% additional. The exports business thought at the beginning they were working out with their U.S. business partners to see, to your point earlier, if they can reduce costs by various means to be able to work out the business collaboration. But then when it hit another to 34%, and everything paused because the businesses are not sure when the next boot is going to drop. And then it goes up to 84%. And this is the time all the orders from the US stopped, including Walmart, calling the business in China or suppliers in China to cancel their order. So right now, it's almost in a strange silent mode because people are basically kind of stunned by this and not sure what their next step should be. But then the 90-day pause was announced by President Trump. The businesses actually felt this is an opportunity for them to re-strategize and to see if they can come up with a way to maneuver or find a way for survival. So in a nutshell, the Chinese export businesses are in the mode of trying to find a way to survive.
So I'm just trying to imagine, is it even possible to implement this 145% on China and 84% on the US? Or do we just see a situation where there is no trade between China and the US? Can that scenario exist in the world?
It's a very good question. I think there's a book Trump wrote about the art of making a deal. So his maneuver or measures he announced for the last few days is almost exactly according to his strategy outlined in the book. So I don't see that in the future it certainly seems like it's going to be decoupling completely between China and United States. But I really do not see that as a possible scenario for the future of global economy. So I think that the two countries will eventually come to the table. Even Trump for the last couple of days, his tone sounded a little bit more reconciliatory, and he said that Xi Jinping or President Xi is, in his words, that a good friend, basically. And so he is just making those measures, hoping that China will come to the table. So in summary, I think right now is a lot of posturing for negotiation. I definitely do not see the two countries will completely not do trade at all. That scenario to me is not possible. So it's all about when and how the two countries will come to the table, if they will be able to negotiate a solution out of right now the situation right now is almost completely is impossible for both countries, I think.
So, Amanda, who do you think will blink first, the US or China?
It's a very good question. There was a lot of discussions about who will blink first. I think that is where the stalemate is, because none of the two leaders, none of them want to lose face, and none of them want to blink first. But eventually, I think right now is in a very emotional mode with 125%. That is not a logical approach, is very emotional. I think eventually both parties will come to the table and come out to be not a situation anyone lose. Will come out with solution. Seems like nobody actually loses in the situation. But I think it is a matter of time, and I'm very optimistic. It's not going to be completely decoupling of the two countries. I think both Trump and then I know President Xi in many occasions also gestured he wants to work with United States. So eventually, I think the two countries will come to the table and work out something, a solution for both countries.
All right, Amanda, we'll wait and see who blinks first, whether it's the US or China. Amanda Wolverton is the Global Marketing Executive. Thank you so much for your perspective.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.